Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Azlina binti Ayub.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hidayah binti Muhammad Yusri Zam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ani Syahira binti Bahari. Details of the case between Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin against Razman Zakaria. In 2015, it was published in the Sina Harian newspaper with element of slander against Muhammad Nizar, the deputy chairman of Parti Amanah Negara PAN Perak. Muhammad Nizar filed a defamation suit against Razman as a Perak past commissioner responsible for the defamatory statement was broadcast by local Malay daily Sina Harian Silver edition date 2nd June 2015 entitled Pendekatan Nizam Mirik DAP. According to a legislation terms, defamation can be defined as the publication of a statement that is harmful to someone's reputation that tends to lower him in the estimation of right-thinking members of society normally by making them shun or avoid him. Application to commence defamation suit proceeding by Muhammad Nizar. Previously, Muhammad Nizar, who is also the former deputy commissioner of PAS Perak and now the deputy chairman of Parti Amanah Negara PAN Perak, filed a defamation suit 3 million ringgit Malaysia in the High Court in Ipoh, but in front of 3 judges led by Dr. Badar Sahamid, they decided to uphold the previous decision of the High Court which said 200,000 ringgit Malaysia in the damage at 10,000 ringgit Malaysia at Nizar. Defendant Razman Zakaria was accused of publishing untrue statement of Muhammad Nizar to write and print on the surface to produce words or meaning that provide information required by section of a local Malay daily Sina Harian. On 2nd June 2015, Razman Zakaria, the Perak Past Commissioner, has issued a statement regarding Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin in the Perak edition of Sina Harian. Headline: Pendekatan Nizar Mirik DAP. On August 2015, in the Ipoh High Court, Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin filed 3 million ringgit Malaysia defamation claims against Razman. However, the court recently determined that the issue shall be heard in the Session Court. Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin filed the lawsuit in relation to the 2 paragraphs in the newspaper story that linked it as supporting the secular state concept for by DAP. On 24 May 2017, Razman Zakaria appealed to the Ipoh High Court against the decision made by the previous Session Court. The court previously quashed the counterclaim filed by the past leadership against the deputy chairman of Amanah Perak, Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin. He said the action of the former Perak Menteri Besar who made a joint statement without his consent was a slander against him as the Perak Past Commissioner. After hearing submission from both sides, Judge Ansem Charles Fernandez set 5 June for the decision on the appeal. On 5 June 2017, the Ipoh High Court dismissed Razman appeals with a cost of 6,000 ringgit Malaysia to be paid by Razman within 7 days from the date of the decision. The Session Court held that Razman's counterclaim was defective. Because of that, his appeal was rejected. On 10 November 2017, Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin proved a significant. Razman Zakaria was found guilty and required to pay Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin 200,000 ringgit in damage for defaming him. On 13 November 2019, after the Court of Appeal twice rejected Razman Zakaria's petition, the court upheld his order to pay 200,000 ringgit to Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin. Razman Zakaria and Dato Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin lawsuit has been resolved. Highlight the issue of the case. In June, a defamation suit was filed by the Deputy Chairman of Parti Amanah Negara PAN Perak, Muhammad Nizar, against Razman Zakaria, Perak Past Commissioner, over false defamation that had been made against him. From the case, the defendant had accused the plaintiff through a local newspaper, Sina Harian edisi Perak, entitled Pendekatan Nizam Mirik DAP. Nizar stressed that the defamatory statement had invited some negative reaction from his political colleagues, especially past and readers of the newspaper. Plaintiff's success in the proving the article had elements of defamation. Publication had already taken place and the counterclaim and evidence presented by defendant were not strong enough to dismiss plaintiff. Court decision. Based on this case, there are three types of court that involved in the proceeding case, which are the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and Session Court. Based on the case, Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin, a former Chief Minister of Perak, filed a lawsuit against Perak Past Commissioner Razman Zakaria in the High Court, Ipoh, here in August 2015, charged over 3 million ringgit Malaysia from Razman to pay. Defamatory that has been made by Razman on the local newspaper article link it as supporting the concept if a circular state for by DAP make Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar to file a lawsuit against Razman saying that he never support the agenda of DAP. The case later been transferred to the Session Court here in Ipoh. Next, the defendant failed to appeal to the court with a reasonable excuse after he made a defamatory statement in a local Malay newspaper on 2nd June 2015. Appeal Razman rejected by the bench of 3-person chaired by Datuk Dr. Badariah Sahamid, comprising Datuk Hasanah Muhammad Hashim, Datuk Harmidah Singh Daliwal in a unanimous voice. The case was later transferred to the Session Court in Ipoh to become a judges. The Session Court here ordered Razman to pay 200,000 ringgit to former Perak Chief Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin in November 2015.
The plaintiff is the person who bring a lawsuit to court. The plaintiff of this case is Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin. Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin was born on 17 March 1957. He is a Malaysian politician who served as the 10th Menteri Besar of Perak from March 2008 to the College of the Pakatan Rakyat State Administration in February 2009 and member of the Perak State Executive Council in the Pakatan Harapan State Administration under former Menteri Besar Ahmad Faizal Uzumu from May 2018 to the College of the PH State Administration in March 2020. Muhammad Nizar filed a defamation suit of 3 million against Razman in the Ipoh High Court in August 2015 before the case was transferred to the Session Court. The suit filed by Muhammad Nizar 2 years ago. Judge of this Wanita Court made the decision when Razman was certified in fact as the defendant, which was published in the Sinar Harian newspaper, was defamatory against Muhammad Nizar as the plaintiff. The plaintiff filed the suit against 2 paragraphs in the newspaper article, which linked it to the supporting the concept of the secular state championed by DAP. Muhammad Fikri Asmoni is the lawyer representing Muhammad Nizar. He said Razman also ordered to pay legal costs of 5,000. The plaintiff's success in proving the article is later. Based on the Cambridge Dictionary, defendant can be defined as a person in a law case who is accused of having done something illegal. In this case, the defendant is Razman bin Zakaria. Razman Zakaria is a Malaysian politician who served as a member of the Perak State Executive Council in the Perikatan National State Administration under former Menteri Besar Ahmad Faizal Uzumu replied from March 2020 to December 2020 and has served as a member of the Perak State Legislative Assembly for Gunung Semanggol since May 2018. He is a member of the Malaysian Islamic Party, a component party of the federal running PN coalition. Razman Zakaria has sent a defamation suit against Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Sulaiman. Razman Zakaria must pay 200,000 to Nizar Sulaiman for the defamation suit that he made to Nizar. This case was heard in front of Judicial Commissioner SM Carlis Hernandez and lawyer of Razman, which is Muhammad Haris Abdullah. The counter-answer and evidence presented defending the defense were not strong enough to select the plaintiff's suit.
Now, I will identify the ways of defamatory statements being used. The defamatory statement being used in this case include verbally. Verbally can be defined as untrue statements by expressing it in a speech and rather in writing or action. On 2 June 2015, Judge of Disunita Kaur JC made the decision after the court was satisfied with Razman's statements as the defendant. However, the Session Court today ordered the Perak Past Commissioner Zakir Razman to pay the fines amounting to RM200,000 to the Legislative Assembly Changkat Jering. As we know that Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin related defamation cases have been deployed in the social media. Sinar Harian published the article and the video on the same day the statement was made, and that is the reason Berita Harian is the second defendant. Previously, Muhammad Nizar, who is also the former Deputy Commissioner of PAS Perak, had filed a defamation suit amounting to RM3 million in the High Court in Ipoh. However, the court then decided it was more appropriate case be heard at the Session Court. Alternatively, it is possible to file an action for pre-action finding under Order 24 of Rule 7A of the Rules of Court 2012 to find out the identity of the person who posted the defamatory post. However, the plaintiff argued that he did not have enough information about those responsible for publishing the defamatory article. The type of defamation is libel. Based on the OBM340 manual, defamation can be defined as a defamatory statements or representations in fixed form. However, there are many reasons defamatory statements are made, and one of the reasons is to tarnish his reputation. The defamation case is between the plaintiffs, namely Razman Zakaria and Datuk Seri Nizar Jamaluddin. During the press conference was published on the same day the statement was made, which means legal action for defamation could be taken for during publications in permanent form. The defamatory statement also fulfills the elements of defamation that must be present. It was meant that Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin had mentioned the name of the plaintiff. And an article on the defamatory statement was published, which means it could be seen by everyone from all over the world. However, the Court of Appeal here has upheld that Menteri Besar Perak Datuk Seri Muhammad Nizar Jamaluddin a total of RM215,000 in his defamation suit against Utusan Melayu Berhad.